If you enjoy Christmas and you like looking at holiday books, then this video is for you. Hi there, I'm Linda Maxey, the author of the Library Lynn Guides to Superlative Nonfiction. I've grown up with fond memories of Christmas celebrations, and part of the fun for me has always been reading books that talk about the holiday and the Yuletide. I've collected quite a few Christmas books through the years, and I've probably gotten rid of just as many as I've collected. But I do have a core collection that I've held on to for years, and today I'm going to share that collection with you. The first book I want to show you is one I picked up at a library sale. It's a book from Gooseberry Patch, Christmas book number 8. I think there are around 17 to 20 of these books now. I checked their website for this and they have 77 Christmas books altogether. If you give them your email address, they'll give you a goodie. I got a free ebook. I was tickled with the one I got. It had lots of recipes and gift wrapping ideas. This one was published in 2006. In this book, they have craft ideas for making your own gift tags. And if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm not a crafty person, but I believe even I could pull one of these off. They have recipes galore, and I've already marked a few for this year's celebrations. They have gifts you can make and stuff like that. The pictures are cheerful and they really put me in the mood to get the ball rolling. So if you like books like this, these books are winners. I like old Christmas music. Sure. I enjoy things like Elton John's Step Into Christmas, and I know that's an old song for some of you. But when I say old, I really mean old. Christmas carols that have been around for hundreds of years are the ones I like best. I love the group Anonymous 4 and their versions of earlier carols. Two of my favorites are the Wexford Carol and Once in David's Royal City. But another one I've always liked is Good King Wenceslas. This carol is based on a 10th century duke and patron saint of Bohemia. When the good king looks out his window on a cold winter's night, he sees a poor man gathering up wood for his fire, according to the story. He orders his page to get together plenty of wood and food and wine, and together they follow that poor man home. It's a beautiful story. This book follows the king and his squire through all 4 verses to the blessing at the end. I've always liked the melody for this song, but the story's even better. The book has nice illustrations which help bring the carol to life. It was illustrated by John Wallner and published by Philomel Books in 1991. The next book I kept is a children's book I bought for my children, The Jolly Christmas Postman by Janet and Alan Alberg. I had bought the original book, The Jolly Postman, for my first son when he was still a baby. I thought he would love it. I'm not sure my kids loved that book, but I sure did, as the postman made his way around delivering mail to folk, fairy tale, and nursery rhyme characters. This edition of the book was published in 1991 by Little, Brown and Company. I'm going to read to you from the first 2 pages and the card that went from Goldilocks to the littlest bear. Once upon a Christmas Eve, just after it had snowed, the jolly postman, him again, came down the jolly road, and in the bag upon his back, an interesting load. First stop, 4 Bears Cottage. 2 Baby Bear, 4 Bears Cottage, the woods. A Christmas card for Baby Bear, a baby or bear who's shy. A mommy up a ladder, a postman with a pie. A postman on his bike again. Ta-ta, take care, goodbye. And let's see what's in the envelope. It's a card. It's got Santa's Workshop on it, and it says, to Baby Bear and brother from Goldilocks and sister, Happy Christmas and a Christmas joke. Who's been eating my pudding? Who's been eating my pudding? Who's been eating my pudding? Be quiet, you silly bears. I haven't served it yet. I know, it's not that great, but the book itself is charming. Now, the wolf sends Little Red Riding Hood a board game, and Humpty Dumpty gets a puzzle that he can put together again, and at the end, the postman himself gets a special present from Little Bo Peep. It's a delightful book, and even if my kids are no longer interested, I sure like to read it. And as you may have gathered from my taste in Christmas music, I've always liked medieval Christmas scenes. And so I was happy when I found the book, The Medieval Christmas by Sophie Jackson, a Sutton Publishing book, They're in the UK, or at least they were in 2005 when this book was first published. It's full of delightful pictures, the history of things like the use of holly for decoration, the 12 days of Christmas, what they originally meant and how they were celebrated, and it gives recipes for things like mince pie and wassail. Now, I've tried the wassail. It's not bad for an afternoon of games and frivolity. Next, I picked up an edition of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. This is a Barnes & Noble edition that was published in 1994. The inside is pretty bare. There's no illustrations, no special gilt on the pages, but I think the simple cover is beautiful. It's a dark green fabric cover with a lovely Victorian Christmas tree and gold holly leaves and red satin letters. It's nice to have out as a decoration, and it's a good one to read when the mood hits. The next book is one I especially like. It's called Unplug the Christmas Machine, A Complete Guide to Putting Love and Warmth Back into the Season by Joe Robinson and Jean Kopic-Stadel. This book was published way back in 1982, and I'm not sure you can even find it now. I still like to pull it out to read now and again. It reminds me to take a deep breath and to cherish what really matters to me during the season. They say in the introduction that the book was written to help families in particular understand that the traditional American celebrations of Christmas that you see in magazines and movies are often unrealistic for families strapped for cash and time. Keep in mind that this book was written over 40 years ago, so in a lot of ways things have only gotten worse on those fronts. They talk about how in most traditional nuclear families, the women do most of the holiday work, and they wear themselves out in the process. And then they go on to discuss how men feel marginalized and how that makes things less than jolly for them. They also talk about children, and while they no doubt appreciate gifts, presents aren't what really make them happy, the authors say. Presents should be a side benefit, not the primary joy of the Christmas season. And the ideas in this book can be applied whether you celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Yule, Christmas, or any other holiday at this time of year. They have a Christmas pledge. Here's what it says. Believing in the beauty and simplicity of Christmas, I commit myself to the following. Number 1, to remember those people who truly need my gifts. Number 2, to express my love for family and friends in more direct ways than presents. Number 3, to rededicate myself to the spiritual growth of my family. Number 4, to examine my holiday activities in light of the true spirit of Christmas. And number 5, to initiate one act of peacemaking within my circle of family and friends. I think that's lovely. They give practical advice for tailoring the holidays to your family's unique needs and wants. And after discussing the adults, they have this to say about what children really want. Relaxed and loving time with the family, realistic expectations about gifts, an evenly paced holiday season, and strong family traditions. And no matter what our circumstances, I think most of us could manage to do that. They have ideas for inexpensive activities for parents to do with their children and for children to do on their own, which will entertain them and free up the adults for other activities. They also provide ideas for unusual and inexpensive gift ideas. Some of these are no longer possible or appreciated. Again, this was written 40 years ago, but they can give you some other ideas. I really appreciate this book for reminding me that I'm in charge of my holiday. I don't have to run myself to death because other people enjoy doing that. I can have a low-key holiday, and the holiday can be very meaningful and full of joy without breaking the bank. And the final book I'll share is one I bought 15 years ago. It's Watch for the Light, Readings for Advent and Christmas, which was published in 2001 by Plough Publishing House. There are daily readings beginning on November 24th, which this year was the day after Thanksgiving, and ending on January 7th, the day after Epiphany. These were all written by famous writers through the ages, most of whom, but not all, were Christians. Not all the writing is sweet and happy, but neither's life. The real meaning of Christmas is quite deep, radical, and even disturbing if you think about it. These writers are from all over the world and from all times since the death of Jesus, and they're truly thought-provoking and even beautiful. John Donne is here, and so is T.S. Eliot, and many, many more. I don't read this book every year. I read through it last year, so this year I'm taking a break from it. But if you're a Christian or you're just curious, I do recommend it. So that's it for today. Do you have books that add to your enjoyment of the holiday season? Books that you would like to recommend to others? If you do, leave a comment for me. And no matter what you celebrate, or if you refuse to celebrate anything this time of year for whatever reason, I wish you all a happy and peaceful season. And until next time, happy reading.